T is difficult for a lot of people, me included, whether that's struggling with the trips, struggling with the schoolwork, or whatever else you might find challenging, but I'd be lying if I said other schools aren't challenging. Challenge is one of the most important pieces of a school curriculum, because how else do you grow? I've seen every single person in my class persevere through challenges this year, the year before that, and back to 5th grade, my first year here. I can say that for all of T's character traits. I've seen my classmates perform and improve in all of them. It's a lot harder to observe my own growth, though, because I'm always myself. Changes happen slowly over time, so I can't really measure it very well. But if I look back, I can see the differences. The main 2 areas I would say that I've improved in are collaboration and empathy. You see, I'm a very logical person, and when I was younger, I felt empathy to be superfluous and not really needed. It was a similar case for collaboration. I felt like as long as I could get something done, it didn't really matter if other people got to contribute. Now I see the error. I failed to factor social outcomes into my logic. The result of this is that I wasn't really able to make many other friends outside of the 2 or 3 that I already had, and that was not great for improving my social skills. T likes to put a lot of effort into bringing the crew together and having designated time for us to get to know each other. And that has made my social skills a lot better, despite not having too many friends early on. And now I'm comfortable with everyone in my class. And I definitely have more than 2 or 3 friends. I have like 4, okay guys? My friends and family used to get upset with me on occasion when they tried to confide in me because I couldn't really empathize with them and basically I didn't really care. But I haven't seen that in about 2 years now. Things like that are metrics that I have for measuring my growth, experiences, and T has provided plenty of those. Everyone here should be familiar with the T trip. You sit in the car for a couple of hours, end up at some place you typically have no interest in, and all you want to do is leave. But by the end, you've done something that you've never done before, and most people haven't done their entire lives. How many people here have summited a mountain, whitewater rafted twice, hiked through a snowmelt creek, and gone backpacking countless times, outside of the people in my class? Well, at the time, I didn't really want to be there. Looking back, I would have never done those things if I didn't go to this school, and they are truly memorable. My favorite of these trips was likely our most recent one, the rafting trip on the Klamath River. I like birding a lot, and there were tons of cool birds there, such as magpies, sandhill cranes, and the area was very pretty. The best part is when me, a few friends, and some classmates were sitting at a table before dinner because there were snacks out. And the rafting guides kept refilling the snack plate, and we kept eating it in the first few seconds that we could get our hands on it. Our teachers made us slow down, but it only survived like 15 seconds before it needed a refill. Speaking of birding, I've been super interested in it lately. It's one of the many hobbies I have now. Back in early 6th grade, I didn't really have that many hobbies, and I would spend a lot of my time playing video games. Well, I personally don't view video games themselves as a bad thing. If it's all you do, it definitely is. Now that I have more hobbies, such as birding and STEM research, I find myself doing a lot more stuff overall. Like hiking. I can credit that to T to some extent, because before T, I hated backpacking and hiking, but now I just find myself doing that for fun. I mentioned STEM earlier, and yeah, that's another interest of mine. Because of school, I've gained an interest in learning. So designing and making things, along with reading science articles, anything like that, has become super fun for me, and I do that a lot in my free time. But learning isn't just at home, of course. I learn at school, too. Another thing I like about T is that we do a lot of PBL, or project-based learning, meaning we do long projects instead of short little packets and small things. And to me, it feels like we're actually learning instead of just doing little busy work. Some of the projects I've done this year are for math. I made a travel guide for South Africa to study graphing. Bo and I are making in our engineering project, Bo and I are making a bird feeder that has cameras on it. In social studies, I worked in a group to make a very long presentation on the impacts of the fast fashion industry on our environment. All of these have happened during my 8th grade year. Middle school has definitely been pretty long for me. And the main way I can describe the past 3 years is progress. Progress that I've been talking about for the past 5 or so minutes by now. T focuses on progression as much as possible. And I said before that it's hard to measure your own growth, but since we are pretty rapidly advancing here, I would say that it's become rather clear to me when and how I've grown. And for that, I'm proud that I've gotten to a point where I can recognize my own growth and see how it has changed me. It feels like when I actually learn something and grow, it's actually making a big impact on my life. Part of this is at T, after we go on trips, we do a reflection. meaning that we answer a few questions on what we did. And that can be that's on after trips or tests or whatever else it is that we struggled with. And when I succeed through challenges just in the real world, I find myself coming back to that and reflecting on it. Because what is learning if not answering a challenge and then remembering that answer and then using that answer in any future times you encounter that same challenge? And I'm going to keep using this strategy because it's really effective. I've seen it myself. But as you can see, T has shown me how to function not just in a classroom, but in the real world too. Like with that reflection strategy. Forward reflection can also help. And when I look forward, I don't find myself struggling or lost. Well, nobody my age, including myself, has a perfectly clear image of exactly how their life is going to go unless they're a fortune teller or something. I've acquired a vague outline of how I want my life to look. To me, though, it would be more interesting to be doing the exact opposite of what I want compared to doing exactly what it is that I want. Currently, my main interest is engineering in any form. That could be software, electrical, mechanical, whatever else. I just have a deep passion for creating things. I mentioned this earlier, but I'm working on making a bird feeder for my engineering elective, and in doing so, I've had to locate a lot of the solutions to challenges along the way. Sometimes it feels boring when you're trying to overcome a challenge, but once you beat it, you get this level of satisfaction that you really just can't find anywhere else. One of these challenges I faced was finding what parts to use for the camera systems. I wasn't sure what to use, so I had to use my critical thinking to weigh the best of my options. I could set up a phone on there, I could get a microcontroller, or even a microcomputer if I wanted to, but it ended up, I just so happened to have a camera in my garage that was a spare, and I threw that thing on there and it worked. So critical thinking like that is an essential part of T's character goals. They encourage you to critically think in ways that you never have before, pushing you to understand things deeply. As my English teacher likes to say, a mile deep and an inch wide into our subjects. While learning more broadly can help with a general understanding, if you're not really getting into it, it doesn't really make sense. For example, in 6th grade, we went to Walker Lake in Nevada to do water testing and to understand how salinity impacts ecosystems. Learning about salinity helped us transition into our larger project on ecosystems overall. T, through experiences, has made me ready for whatever may happen next, if that is exactly what I want or the exact opposite. And those experiences might be struggling with backpacking, my hands freezing off, eating a plate of snacks in less than a second, or even Shelby leaving T. Rest in peace. Thank you for listening, and I'm happy to answer any questions.